Hey guys, today we're driving another C8 Corvette. We finally got our hands on a Z51, so we are taking this to the track later today. But before we do, I wanted to give you guys some first impressions on what this is like to drive on the street. We've got some cool new options in this Corvette compared to the last ones that we've tested. First, black interior. We've got this suede Alcantara steering wheel. We have the front end nose lift, which is super useful and very intelligent in how it memorizes where you've lifted around town and will do it automatically in the future if you want it to. We have a 8-speed dual clutch transmission and 495 horsepower out of a 6.2 liter V8. What a beast. This thing is an amazing car. This is the Coupe. I kind of prefer the convertible, but I mean, who cares? I'll take either one. GT2 Bucket Seats, which are very supportive. You can adjust the side bolsters on them. They have carbon fiber in them. We've got these ruby red matching seat belts, and I do really like this exterior color too. Let's walk you around this Corvette, show you what it looks like. We'll take it for a drive and give you guys some thoughts on this Z51. Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Lots of cooling modifications to keep this nice and happy on track. Some aero stuff up front, a lower front splitter, a rear spoiler. I suspect this is around $83,000. The Z51 package is $6,000 and well worth it in my opinion. We've done a bunch of Corvette videos, but just as a quick refresher, we get a lot of usable storage space, even though this is mid-engined. You can put the roof right back here and you still have a frunk to store stuff. One complaint that I have discovered with this car is when you wash it, you're going to want to cover up these vents because the whole engine bay gets a lot of water in it. On the rear windshield, on the top window above the engine bay. It's a mess to clean and kind of difficult once the water bakes on there after there's some heat in the engine. This has the performance exhaust. It sounds phenomenal. If you wanted more noise out of this thing, just throw some long tube headers on here or something and you'd be in really good shape. Up front, you've got the frunk. A lot of space in there. That's a pretty spacious frunk. A lot of room for activities. This line right here, it looks just like a Lamborghini Aventador to me, between the front splitter design and then this kind of W shape. Very exotic, very evocative. After seeing this car for a few days, I actually prefer the looks of the Z51 package to the base model. I know a lot of people like the clean lines without the spoilers and everything, but to me this just looks right. It looks really well balanced. The front end seems like it's been elongated a little bit visually with that splitter, and it's not as short, and it's a little bit more proportional to me. I don't know, I really like it. I think it looks good. This is how I would get my Corvette. This does have the track alignment. You can see there's quite a bit of negative camber here. So since we're taking it to the track, that's good. This is an alignment that's specified in the user manual, and you can go to the Chevy dealership and ask for the track alignment, and they'll do it. Basically what it does is it dials out all the understeer and it drives awesome. Really, really good stuff. All right, let's take this thing for a drive, see what it's like. These are just such great cars. Ooh. This Corvette is a great spec too. I like this black interior a lot. Chevy did such a great job with this car. The more I've lived with them, the more time I've spent in them. They're just so refined. This has the mag ride suspension, a very worthy option. Even in Sport Plus or track mode, it's livable, it's comfortable. But you enter into a corner, you push it around the track, and it just, the grip is phenomenal. The suspension dynamics, the tuning, everything is just next level. It's really awesome. I've set it to change the gauges according to which drive mode I'm in. Right now we're in Sport. difference with the Z51 compared to the base Corvette. No understeer. This is maybe one of the best handling mid-engine cars I have ever driven. It slides beautifully, it's controllable, predictable. The steering ratio is so fast that you really only have to give it a few angles to countersteer. And then on the limit, there's a good amount of steering feel, but the chassis and everything is very communicative. I know exactly how much grip I have from the front and rear end. It's the most approachable mid-engine car I've ever driven. Usually mid-engine cars can be a little bit snappy, a little bit finicky. They'll understeer on corner entry, they'll oversteer on liftoff, but this is just natural and progressive and almost forgiving, but really, really, really capable and rewarding to a driver who can push it a little bit harder. It's really good. It's very impressive. And with this track alignment, I think it really just takes the car to the next level. Add in all the performance bits, the stickier tires. Some people have said that the standard Corvette with the Michelin all-season tires tends to be a little bit more fun just because you can chuck it around a little bit, slide it around some corners. There's a little bit less grip. And sometimes I tend to agree with that. Those all-season tires are really impressive. We actually had them out in the winter this last year, and we took them up north when I picked up my Toyota 4Runner from Benton Harbor, and they did great in the snow. But I don't know, these Michelin Pilot 4S tires have so much grip. You can still kind of get them a little bit out of sorts if you really push it. It just raises that threshold, and I think it raises the enjoyment factor of this car overall. Control here. Ooh, it just keeps pulling. Those shifts, it just gives you that extra shove in the back of the seat between shifts. It almost like slips the clutch a little bit between gear changes. Wicked fast, wicked quick off the line. If you can put your power down, if your tires are warm, the traction management system does a really nice job. And that's the other thing. This car has an amazing traction. The performance traction management that Chevrolet puts into their cars is just phenomenal. It's multi-stage, so you can kind of adjust what you prefer, what you like. And it's good. It really gets the job done. It's approachable. They've designed the stability control to do a really good job kind of keeping you in line. If you want to turn everything off, you can, but it's a really good tool that you can use if you're just learning to drive rear-wheel drive or you're just learning to track a car. You can kind of dial it up as you progress and as you improve as a driver, and it works with you. It's a really nice system. I also really like driving this car around in just full manual mode. It's fun. 8 gears, not too many. I think it's fine. And the advantage to driving around in manual mode is it's not always switching into V4. You get this little click and the cylinders, half of them deactivate. And it sounds kind of funny. It's a little bit distracting when you're just cruising around in tour mode. I really like just cruising in manual mode. It's a nice, enjoyable driving mode. I have my mode set to the loudest engine sound with everything else in comfort. That feels pretty good to me. This car is just so sharp, so accurate. It'd be great if it had a manual, but honestly, this dual clutch is so capable and so good. I don't know. If you can get one of these for a decent price, not a ton of markup, go for it. It is just a great, great sports car. Let's hit one more entrance ramp here. It's kind of strange because this car, for all practical purposes, it looks and feels more exotic than a Corvette ever has. This is as refined as some really high dollar stuff, but you get that American V8 singing behind you, and it's kind of a cool experience. It makes it feel like, okay, this Corvette is true to its muscle car, performance car, American roots, but also they've just made it better in virtually every single way. So if you want to change the traction management, you just go into track, double press the traction control off button. You've got a bunch of different settings: wet, dry, sport, race 1, race 2. Good stuff. Let's leave it on race 2, see what happens. Everything's in the full stiff mode. Every now and then this dual clutch is a little bit slower to downshift, but for the most part, it's a really good transmission. Chevrolet has managed to make it comfortable, livable, not rough off the line. It's really smooth. The programming is just amazing in automatic mode, and then you want to throw it in manual, it's a good gearbox. For Chevrolet's first dual clutch, this thing it's really good. Not PDK good, but it's pretty darn good. Okay, I can't wait to get this thing out on track. Let's wrap things up here. This thing is it's a great sports car. It is impinging on supercar territory. Can't wait for what else Chevrolet does with this platform, with this chassis, with this Corvette. What a starting point. The Z51 package is the most impressive Corvette I've driven so far. I think if you're performance minded, if you're going to go to the track, you got to get the Z51. You got to get all this stuff. It is just a really, really well sorted package. It's got all the cooling, supporting modifications, a little bit of aero. You should be able to just run this thing all day on track. And with the track alignment, that's the key, because it dials out all the understeer. And it's really, really good. It's very impressive. It's super predictable. I mean, you know, we've said it on this drive. It is just a very impressive overall package. It's the most livable and approachable mid-engine car I think I have ever driven.
Police reported ahead.
Oh no. it will hold gears and drive. And then when you just want to relax, put it back into tour mode, everything quiets down. You can just cruise. So much adjustability in this car, so many settings, so many modes. You can really tailor it to your preferences. The only disadvantage to that is there are so many modes and there are so many options, but all of them are good. All of them make a really substantial difference. You put in a track mode, everything goes to full aggressive. The steering weights up beautifully. You get a ton of feel. Everything is just calibrated to be about right, how you would want it. Proper stuff. Well done on GM's part. When GM really wants to make a good car, they knock it out of the park. And this new Corvette is just, oh man, it's next level. Now check this out. So, front end nose lift, forward facing camera. It makes that curb look like a wall. But when we get out, look how high up it is. It's a good 6, 7, 8 inches of ground clearance there. Ooh, I can smell the brakes. So here's with the nose lift all the way up. Gives you a good amount of clearance, and you could actually clear this this curb there. You'd be in good shape. It's just a small air spring. Lifts surprisingly fast. And definitely a worthy option if you live in an area where you've got lots of steep driveways, perhaps a little bit of winter driving. It'll automatically lower around 25 miles an hour, but you can raise it up and down anywhere between there. Such a great car. Really excited to get this out on track. Stay tuned for that video. It'll be up in a few days. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Hope you enjoyed this latest video of the Corvette. Really been excited to get into a Z51 package. If you want to see what else I'm up to, follow me on Instagram at TheTopher2. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.